This video is about the famous people and celebrities who passed away in the United States in 1980. This is the first episode. Before we proceed, please subscribe to our channel to support us. Barbara Britton. She was born in September 1920 and she died in January 1980. Her age was 59 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was pancreatic cancer. Barbara Britton was an American film and television actress. She is best known for her Western film roles opposite Randolph Scott, Joel McCrea, and Gene Autry, and for her two-year tenure as Inquisitive Amateur sleuth Pam North on the television and radio series Mr. and Mrs. North in 1941 while appearing in a Pasadena tournament of Roses Parade. A photo of Britton was used on the front page of a local newspaper. A talent scout took notice and she was soon signed to a Paramount Pictures contract. Another source says that a talent scout spotted her as the lead in production of The Old Maid at college, and 3 weeks later she was signed by Paramount Pictures as a stock player. That same year, she appeared in her first two films, the William Boyd Western Secret of the Wastelands and Louisiana Purchase, starring Bob Hope. Her first major film appearance was in a small role in the John Wayne film Rape the Wild Wind in 1942. Britton starred in the 1950s television show Mr. and Mrs. North, a Thin Man-like mystery show with Richard Denning and Francis DeSales. One of Britton's last roles was on the daytime television soap opera One Life to Live in 1979. Georgiana Tillman. She was born in February 1944 and she died in January 1980. Her age was 35 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was sickle cell disease. Georgiana Tillman was an American singer and an original member of the Motown girl group, The Marvelettes. In 1960, Tillman was recruited into a girl group with her former Inkster High School Glee Club members Gladys Horton, Catherine Anderson, and Juanita Cohart. Georgia Dobbins was later added to the lineup by Horton. The group called themselves the Cassanettes, short for We Can't Sing Yet. The group auditioned for Motown after the talent show, and while the audition was successful, the group was requested to give a musical composition. After Dobbins created the composition Please, Mr. Postman, Dobbins left the group after her father refused to let her perform in the group. The group changed their name to Marvelettes shortly after Motown signed the act, and Dobbins was replaced by Wanda Young. In 1961, the group released Please Mr. Postman in 1961. The single would top the charts, peaking at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming Motown's first number 1 pop hit. The group would score hits such as Playboy, Benchwood, Someday, Someway, Strange I Know, Locking Up My Heart, and Too Many Fish in the Sea. John Moxley. He was born in August 1907 and he died in January 1980. His age was 72 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was a long illness. John Moxley was an American physicist who, along with J. Presper Ackert, designed ENIAC, the first general-purpose electronic digital computer, as well as EDVAC, BINAC, and UNIVAC first, the first commercial computer made in the United States. Together, he and Ackert started the first computer company, Ackert Moxley Computer Corporation (EMCC), and pioneered fundamental computer concepts, including the stored program, subroutines, and programming languages. Their work, as exposed in the widely read first draft of a report on the EDVAC in 1945, and as taught in the Moore School lectures in 1946, influenced an explosion of computer development in the late 1940s all over the world. Moxley stayed involved in computers for the rest of his life. He was a founding member and president of the Association for Computing Machinery (ACM) and also helped found the Society for Industrial and Applied Mathematics, serving as its fourth president. The Eckerd-Moseley Corporation was bought by Remington Rand in 1950, and for 10 years, Moseley remained as director of UNIVAC Applications Research. Huey Critz. He was born in September 1900 and he died in January 1980. His age was 79 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Huey Critz was an American second baseman in Major League Baseball for the Cincinnati Reds in the 1920s and the New York Giants in the 1930s. He attended college in his hometown at Mississippi State University, where his father, Professor Colonel Hugh Critz Sr., was a respected instructor and was appointed president of the university, then known as Mississippi A&M, in 1930. Critz began playing in the Cotton States League. He was 68 inches tall and weighed 150 pounds. One New York writer described him as one of the little fellas in the baseball. In 1922, the Greenwood Indians team in the Cotton States League sold him for $2,000 to Memphis. Entering the minor leagues in May 1924, the second baseman of the Cincinnati Reds, Sam Bone, was injured. The team reached out to the Minneapolis Millers and obtained Critz, then 23 years old, on May 29th. Minneapolis, in return, received pitcher Bill Harris along with $15,000 and two players to be named later. In this first major league game, he had 2 hits of Hall of Fame pitcher Grover Cleveland Alexander and went on to hit .322 in 102 games with 19 stolen bases as a rookie. Frank Wyckoff. He was born in October 1909 and he died in January 1980. His age was 70 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Frank Wyckoff was an American athlete, a triple gold medal winner in 4x100 meter relay at the Olympic Games. Born in Des Moines, Iowa, Frank Wyckoff has a place in track and field history by being the first man to ever win 3 Olympic relay gold medals, all in world record time. Wyckoff made his debut at the 1928 Summer Olympics in Amsterdam, where he finished 4th in the 100-meter and ran an opening leg in the American 4x100 meter relay team, which equaled the world record of 41 seconds in the final. After the Olympics in 1929, Wyckoff enrolled at Glendale Community College. He enrolled for 1 year to be able to train one more season with his Glendale High School coach, Normal Hayhurst. He was close to death the previous fall with a severe throat infection, but recovered enough in the spring to tie the world record 4 times as a sprinter for the Glendale. He then transferred to the University of Southern California, where he came under the tutelage of the famous coach, Dean Cromwell. He won the AAU championships in 100-yard in 1928 and 1931, and the NCAA championships in 100-yard in 1930 and 1931. He ran a new world record in 100-yard of 9.4 seconds in May 1930 and repeated it a month later. Bo Rain. He was born in July 1945 and he died in January 1980. His age was 34 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was plane crash. Bo Rain was an American football and baseball player and football coach. He was 2-sport athlete at Ohio State University and served as the head of football coach at North Carolina State University from 1976 to 1979, compiling a record of 27-18-1 following the 1979 season. Rain had assumed the role as head coach at Louisiana State University, but was killed in an aircraft accident in January 1980 before he ever coached a game for the Tigers. Rain is the namesake of Football Player Award at Ohio State and NC State. Rain played baseball at Ohio State University from 1965 through 1967, helping the Buckeyes win the 1966 College World Series, the school's only NCAA baseball title. Rain played shortstop and left field. He led his team in stolen bases in 1965 and 1966, and in doubles and runs in 1966. Rain had 49 career stolen bases, which stood as a team record until he was surpassed by Roy Marsh in early 1990s. From 1964 to 1966, Rain was a 3-year starter at left halfback for the Ohio State Buckeyes football team. He led his team in receptions in 1964 and 1965 and in rushing in 1966. George Meany, he was born in August 1894 and he died in January 1980. His age was 85 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cardiac arrest. George Meany was an American labor union administrator for 57 years. He was important for the creation of AFL-CIO and served as the AFL-CIO's first president from 1955 to 1979. Meany, the son of a union plumber, became a plumber himself at a young age. He became a full-time union official 12 years later. As an officer of the American Federation of Labor, he represented the AFL on the National War Labor Board during the Second World War. He served as president of the AFL from 1952 to 1955. He proposed its merger with the Congress of Industrial Organizations (CIO) in 1952 and managed the negotiations until the merger was completed in 1955. He then served as president of the merged AFL-CIO for the next 24 years. Meany had a reputation for integrity and consistent opposition to corruption in the labor movement and strong anti-communism. He was one of the best-known union administrators in the United States during the mid-20th century. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a nice day.